We're going to get started with the process that we've used in our other sessions, which is convening our community, in this case, reconvening our community. And I know that when Brian was with us, he mentioned a couple of times some work that he did with us in San Francisco. And so we'd like to start our convening the community activity with a short from that project.
High school students who through the system adjudicated, they're basically at the last stop.
I hate this school.
Sucks here. The teachers suck.
Obviously, I'm not cooperating with that, so we'll come up with a way.
Who are you? You're gonna help me like choreography? Or help, he's looking at me what I teach him.
The more we know how to like make this exciting, better.
The chain is only as strong as its weakest link. You do not want to be the weak link. Make it life or death. This is serious. This is the chance of a lifetime. This is your one chance to be heard ever.
This was a project that we did in San Francisco, and Brian headed it up. He was working with kids who were in one of our court schools. These are all adjudicated youth. They were basically sentenced to this school. And he brought in some of his colleagues, a theater person, as well as a music producer. And in the space of 2 weeks, these kids produced their own show with their own original material. They recorded a CD, and we were able, through the help of a documentary filmmaker, to actually produce a film about this process that we went through. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do is introduce a structure that we're going to use to reflect back on our experiences in November and to sort of bring in whatever that particular little short clip may have moved in you. So this is a feedback structure called Wows and Wonders. In this activity that we're going to go into in just a moment, you're going to, as part of a small group, come up with some wows and some wonders.
One of the wows that we came up with was just how amazing it is what one can do with students when you really are cognizant of the environments and the lives that they come from, and you really bring that into the educational process, how much farther they can come in such a short amount of time. And then the wonder is just, for those of us that have seen Brian, I mean, he's amazing. And it comes naturally for him. How do we transfer that natural art of connecting with kids to teach teachers whose hearts are in the right places, but it may not be as easy and as natural for them? How do we teach them how to connect with kids and bring that out?
And I think, how do we, because sometimes we think because people are really good at what they do, we think that it's sort of natural, and we don't always know like the effort that they put into getting to a place where it looks sort of automatic and natural. And actually the same thing happens with kids, and they see other kids who very easily are able to do things and assume that it's just because they can. And so part of our work, right, is trying to like tear out some of those layers so we can see into what it took to get to a certain level of competency and that probably all of us can reach some level of competency in doing this work. Thank you. Another group? Yes.
Our WOW was also similar to the others, that within a short period of time, how he developed that relationship and that relevance with the students, that common interest that he's talked about in the past with us. Our wonder was, between all of us, we wondered about if teachers intentionally do look for common relevance or common interest with students. He found that within 2 weeks. Teachers have students for 40 weeks. So do teachers intentionally look for that common interest by which then greater learning can come from? And then we also wondered if any of us could really be like he is. You know, and we might get some type of common interest with music, with rap, but I don't know if we could necessarily do what he does, but perhaps we have to find something that we are comfortable with in finding that commonality.
Yeah, and find the resources we have within our own communities that maybe do have more of the particular technical skills to be able to do some of that, right? Because they exist in all of our communities. They just aren't often very visible to us as professional educators. Another table? Yes.
We were struck by the power of media to advocate and to memorialize and to honor student work. These are moments in time that would be forgotten were they not memorialized artfully and edited down to create that very specific piece that we saw via media. And we wonder about how we can access the media more in our own classrooms in powerful ways with students who are so media savvy, despite the enormous bureaucracy we face where we can't even show a YouTube clip about a new film about Ruth Asawa that's opening at the DeYoung on Friday. We can't even show the clip because it's on YouTube. So how do we wonder, access media in powerful, that's just an example. I mean, we can't do YouTube in our schools, in San Francisco Unified School District. My name is Susan Starr, I'm with the San Francisco Unified School District. Wow, the power of media to advocate and memorialize, and wondering how do we make a straight line to our students and use it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Could I say something about YouTube? We couldn't access it before either, but now and I don't know what they've done.
Override.
Well, their management has override, but teachers don't. But there's a way to we're building a library where we take all the educational ones off, put it in the library, and they can access that library and not go anywhere else.
Yeah,
so that might be something.
We're finding ways to do that, and there are actually protocols you can use to get to YouTube even as a teacher within the system. But yeah, it's hard sometimes. Okay, can we do one more table?
Well, we were talking about our WOW as the acknowledging the importance of acknowledging a child's experience first and then strengthening the trust relationships in the beginning so that you can then continue on with a personal trust relationship. And then the wonder was, how can we expand students' experiences to broaden their understandings of different perspectives? Our connection was, what struck me in November was that TED conference video. It was The Danger of the Single Story, Shamanda, and how to maybe use that media to spark a strong response and then start that conversation. I was thinking of how to just use that with my own artistry group first to start that conversation, and then how can we move that forward into the classroom with students.
Absolutely. It's interesting how powerful even a 30-second clip of something can be to get you to a place where you can actually have conversations about some of these issues. Okay, well, thank you very much for sharing that out.